You know, becoming a parent is supposed to be, of course, one of the great joys of life, and criticising motherhood, ooh, is a very, very difficult thing. The brutal truth, though, is sticky fingers, marks on the wall, all that work and dirty nappies can make it very tough for parents. So joining me this morning, mother of two, Monica Rosenfeld. She loves children, but she is one of the mums honest enough to say parenting is not the total joy. Monica joins me. Good morning, Monica.
Good morning, Kerri.
And expecting a third.
Yes, I am.
And from New York, author Erica Jong. She passionately believes it is a myth that motherhood is a total bliss. She says there's far too much pressure on modern mothers, and celebrities particularly are giving women this false expectation about how easy it is. Erica, welcome to the program. If I could ask you first, Erica, in terms of motherhood, you talk about parenthood as being a prison. Could you expand on that?
I don't really think parenthood is a prison. I think that it's a lot more difficult than we're allowed to say. We've endured a couple of years of motherphilia. We see Angelina Jolie adopting, and we see pictures that are arranged. So we never see a nanny, we never see a cleaner, we never see anyone helping. And it appears in the gossip magazines that the celebrities are doing it all themselves, that they have no helpers. And this is very unfair to the mothers out there who read these magazines and think it's all so easy. I think we have to acknowledge that being a parent is very difficult. It's very demanding. It can be very, very joyful, but it can also be very hard. And we need a balanced view of parenting, in other words.
Now, as a working mother, you hired a nanny. That was in the 70s. How did you feel about that, and being a single working mother then?
My daughter was born, my only daughter was born in 1978. She's now 32 and a mother of 3 herself, so I have tons of grandchildren. My daughter has three kids. I'm taking my 7-year-old grandson to Rome for his spring break because he wants to see the Colosseum. I love kids. I think kids give you life. They're wonderful. It's also hard to be a good parent. When Molly was little, I was the sole breadwinner. My ex-husband didn't make a penny. He later became a professor. He was then a writer whose books didn't sell. Through a stroke of good luck and timing, I sold 20 million copies of Fear of Flying. This rarely happens to any writer. So I was in a position to be the breadwinner. But, of course, I had to go on the road on every AM show, every PM show. I had to do Oprah Winfrey's show. I had to do Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. So I was always traveling in order to make my living. My ex didn't make a penny. So I had to work. You can't just leave your children in the green room, you know, in nappies or sucking on bottles. It was absolutely essential to have help. So what I really believe is that, yes, being a mother is wonderful, but if women give up all that their mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers have earned, in the United States, we only got the right to vote in 1920. I don't know about Australia. I'm not familiar enough with Australia. We're still not equal in salary. We're still not equal politically. We're still not equal in the corporations. If we throw away everything that was won for us by our mothers and our grandmothers, we tread a very slippery slope.
Indeed, and it is such a very... And if I may interrupt there, Erica, because I'd just like to address a question to Monica. And as we say, as Erica has pointed out, giving up all the privileges that were hard fought, though. But as a mother, soon to be of 3,
Sure.
Has motherhood been everything joyful that you expected?
I have really enjoyed having kids. I enjoy watching them grow and learn and experiencing their take on the world.
But do I hear a but?
But it's not the hallmark vision that you expect it to be before you give birth to the first child. I think most women get a shock when they have their first child and realise that their life is pretty much turned upside down, and everything that you used to be able to do at the drop of a hat can't be done at the drop of a hat anymore. There's a lot more planning that goes into it, and life just cannot be as spontaneous as it used to be.
What would you change?
There's a...
Oh, yes, please go on, Erica.
There's a wonderful article in the New York Times parenting column today. The parenting column is called Mother Load. And they talk about what shall we call the mother of a first child. I say we should call it the prima mama, which rhymes with prima donna, because we need a name for a woman undergoing the shock of having a first child and suddenly realizing that she is responsible.
And in fact,
Yes,
Monica is nodding in agreement there. What would you change?
I think the thing that I miss most personally is sleeping in. I used to live for my sleep-ins every Saturday and Sunday morning and think that I actually really needed that to get on with the rest of the week. Well, I've realised that as much as you want it, you don't need it, because sometimes you just can't have it. And when it comes to having 2 small children under 5 and soon to be number 3, it is a thing of the past.
Well, people criticise motherhood with fear and trepidation. Erica Jong, thank you so much for your time this morning. Is there just something you'd like to impart to us before we leave you from New York?
Life is very long. My own mother is 99. Children are little for about 5 years, then they go to school. Women's lives have many parts. Yes, it's wonderful to be a mother. It's also wonderful to work. It's also wonderful to do philanthropy. It's also wonderful to have romances. We live a very long time in this era.
So to wrap it up, life is not
things.
just being only a mother, it is being a rounded person. Erica Jong from New York, we do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And Monica,
Thank you.
what's the one thing you will look forward to when your children are a little bit older that you can reclaim, besides sleep?
Well, I really enjoy travelling, and actually every year my husband and I go with the family to Holland, where he's from, and we actually leave the kids with his parents for a week while we go and have a real romantic holiday.
That's one way of getting through it and experiencing it all. Monica, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure, thank you.